Ma'am, we've already conducted more oversight visits.
No. It's a yes or no. Yes or no. Okay, Secretary Noem, this is my time to talk, not your time to talk. I reclaim my time. I reclaim my time. I reclaim my time. Chair, I reclaim my time. Secretary Noem, DHS is breaking the law, hiding information from Congress and shutting out oversight. So let me ask you, how can the American people trust your department with you at the helm with this kind of behavior?
The American people absolutely trust this department to keep them safe. And we are showing that every day by the support we get.
When a lawmaker won't let a witness answer a single question, you have to ask, was this about oversight or was it about putting on a show?
Gentleman yields. I now recognize the gentlelady from New Jersey, Ms. McIver, for 5 minutes of questions.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and Ranking Member, for holding this hearing today. The greatest threat to the homeland right now is a Department of Homeland Security that the American people no longer trust, a department actively undermined by its own secretary. This is on you, Secretary Noem. Today's hearing is supposed to be about worldwide threats, but Madam Secretary, under your watch, the threat is coming from inside the building. Because when DHS, the department charged with keeping Americans safe, is caught breaking the law, lying to the American public, systematically dismantling oversight, fueling bigotry, and targeting vulnerable communities, trust is broken. Let's start with the basics. How can we trust your department with you at the helm? The American people deserve an answer, even if you've spent the past year dodging accountability like it's your full-time job. We need to talk about oversight. Oversight is not optional. It is not a courtesy because you feel like it. It is not something you entertain only when it's politically convenient to you. Yet, time and time again, Secretary Noem, you have treated congressional oversight as an inconvenience at best, and at worst, something to be invaded, ignored, or denied altogether. Republicans on this committee may be willing to hand over their constitutional duty in order to kiss this administration's butt cheeks, but I am not. I will never. My district is not, and the American people sure aren't. While Republicans turned this hearing into a praise fest for your failed 10-year communities across America, including mine in New Jersey, are made less safe because DHS under your leadership has become unproductive and malicious. All of the thank you that we keep hearing from across the aisle, there's no thank you from me. And we see the truth that you're trying to hide. The truth is you are deeply unqualified for the post you hold. This is on full display in the way you treat the people in this body, myself included, who have been elected to serve our communities and keep them safe. Representative Grajava, Senator Padilla, myself and others whose character, integrity, and bodies were attacked by your department without evidence and without apology. Far beyond being disrespectful, you have shown a complete disregard for the oversight authority granted to us by law. You have repeatedly shown that you will target whoever you want, whenever you want, without accountability. Members of Congress, members of our communities, and even American citizens, as many of my colleagues have continued to point out today. Secretary Noem, that's not leadership. That's not democracy. And that is not how this works. Again, this is not just about you. Don't want you to think this is just a pick on you day. This is about the Trump administration that has turned DHS into a political weapon. So I'll ask you this. Is Trump embarrassed by your tenure, or is this exactly the kind of god-awful leadership he wants at DHS? Yes or no?
Ma'am, we've already conducted more oversight visits.
No. It's a yes or no. Yes or no. Okay, Secretary Noem, this is my time to talk, not your time to talk. I reclaim my time. I reclaim my time. I reclaim my time. Chair, I reclaim my time. Secretary Noem, DHS is breaking the law, hiding information from Congress and shutting out oversight. So let me ask you, how can the American people trust your department with you at the helm with this kind of behavior?
The American people absolutely trust this department to keep them safe. And we are showing that every day by the support we get across the country, the amount of people that we're recruiting to all of our
Thank you,
different
Secretary
agencies.
Noem. Do you
We
agree
have
that using
200,000
DHS
people that have
resources
signed
to
up the
target
ICE
members of
officers?
Congress is an abuse of power?
Excuse me, would you say that
You
again?
would have heard me if you stopped talking
If you
and
would
listened to
stop
my
talking
questions.
crazy,
Do
quit
you
making
agree
stuff up.
that using DHS resources to target members of Congress is an abuse of power?
We are not doing that. We are out there enforcing the law, doing our work, and we are allowing oversight
Of course, we're not
visits
going to get
more
any
than the
answers. With
entire
that,
Joe
Mr.
Biden
Chairman, I
administration
yield
did.
back.
Gentlelady yields back. I now recognize the gentleman from Oklahoma, Mr. McKean, for 5 minutes of questions.
This hearing exchange between Representative LaMonica McIver and DHS Secretary Kristi Noem is a perfect example of how congressional oversight can slide into pure political theater. From the moment McIver began speaking, it was clear this was not going to be a good faith attempt to gather information or hold DHS accountable in a serious way. Instead, it became a confrontational monologue built around accusations, interruptions, and viral soundbites. McIver opened by declaring that the greatest threat to the homeland is the Department of Homeland Security itself, not foreign adversaries, not cartel networks, not fentanyl trafficking, and not terror threats. That framing alone tells you this was never about improving security. It was about discrediting the institution and the administration behind it. When you start with a conclusion and work backward, facts become optional. She proceeded to accuse DHS under Secretary Noem of breaking the law, lying to the American people, dismantling oversight, and targeting vulnerable communities. These are extremely serious allegations, yet no evidence was presented to support them. There were no documents entered into the record, no specific incidents cited in detail, and no effort made to allow the Secretary to explain or respond. Oversight without evidence isn't oversight, it's accusation. What followed was a pattern that repeated throughout her time. McIver would ask a question, immediately talk over the answer, and then cut off the Secretary with, "I reclaim my time." That phrase became less a procedural tool and more a shield against hearing answers she might not like. If the goal were accountability, you would let the witness speak and then challenge the response. If the goal is a clip for social media, you interrupt and move on. One of the most alarming moments came when McIver accused DHS of using its resources to target members of Congress. That is an extraordinary charge, one that implies abuse of power and potentially criminal behavior. When Secretary Noem flatly denied it, McIver did not press for evidence, did not cite a case, and did not attempt to prove the claim. Instead, the exchange devolved into frustration and shouting. Serious accusations demand serious follow-through, and that was missing here. The viral line, "You would have heard me if you had stopped talking," might have landed with applause from partisans, but it fell apart under scrutiny. Throughout the exchange, it was McIver who repeatedly interrupted, spoke over the witness, and shut down responses. The comment ended up sounding more like projection than principle. Secretary Noem, meanwhile, maintained a calm and controlled demeanor. She attempted to answer within the limited space she was given and did not raise her voice or engage in personal attacks. Whether viewers agree with her leadership or not, the contrast mattered. One side appeared focused on confrontation, the other on maintaining composure under pressure. This exchange also highlights a broader issue in Washington. Hearings are increasingly used not to inform the public or improve policy, but to score political points. When lawmakers treat witnesses as props rather than participants, the American people are the ones left without answers. At a time when trust in institutions is already low, moments like this only deepen cynicism. If members of Congress believe DHS is abusing power or breaking the law, they owe it to the public to present evidence, allow testimony, and pursue accountability through proper channels. Shouting, interrupting, and yielding back early may go viral, but it doesn't make the country safer or government more transparent. If you're tired of the theatrics and want clear, honest breakdowns of what actually happens in Washington, make sure to like this video and subscribe to Redscope for more unfiltered political commentary.